You've officially tuned in to the Epiphany podcast, and I'm your host, Joanna Lynn. Thanks for joining me on my journey of spiritual growth, restoration, and most importantly, transformation. You've got a front row seat, so take my hand as we journey together. We're on the Epiphany, y'all. It is the moment you have been waiting for. Epiphany episode 38. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to go ahead and get started. A lot has happened in the world within the last month. Let's be real, y'all. 2020 has never failed to disappoint. It continues to get more exciting, more invigorating, more scary, just a little bit of surprises every day behind every door. But hey, we are alive, we are breathing, we have another chance to make a difference. So let's be honest, any day you wake up is a good day. We celebrated a year for Epiphany. Then Southeast Texas, we had a hurricane. Then your girl went on vacation to California. That's for another episode. I'm just being honest. That was my first time ever vacation, y'all. First time flying, anything. And it was super amazing. I now know the importance of getting flued out. So let me make that clear. Make some time for yourself. But today we're going to go ahead and get started. It's episode 38, and we're calling this one Dear Diary. Kind of cliche, right? I know, but you love it. Okay, well, I love it. So I just want to be very, very, no, vague isn't the word. No, demanding isn't the word. Just listen. I personally was one of those little girls that always grew up writing a diary. It was especially before everybody had a cell phone in their hand, especially before our poor little children don't know how to read or write because all they know how to do is text, slang, and emojis. However, I was always taught to write in my diary as a child. Didn't quite understand the importance until now, until I, got older and realized I encourage you to take some time alone. Even when you're relaxing, you've had a hard day from work, and you're just chilling on the sofa and you're scrolling social media, you're not alone. You may physically be in your house alone or on that couch alone, but you're not alone. Your mind and your thoughts, your heart, everything is focused on what you're looking at, on the people that you're watching, on their families, on their relationships, on their careers. Your mind is not on you, it's on them. You're preoccupying yourself with other people, spending your alone time preoccupying yourself with other people. Spend some time alone with you and your feelings. You and your thoughts. It's surreal, y'all. It's honesty. And it's hard. It's very hard. I think we have gotten away from Dear Diary and, what will I tell myself in 10 years? We've gotten away from those things because we are so good. This generation has become so good at being chameleons, at hiding their true emotions, hiding their true feelings. It is so easy, and I know we've talked about this before, but in the world of social media, it is so easy to be something you're not, to take a stance that you really don't believe in, or to cover up how you really feel. You just share a bunch of memes about, let's say, Black Lives Matter, and no one really knows if you support it or not. As long as your social media profile is up to par, you share a bunch of scriptures every day, and your friends and family just think you all holy moly and you got a relationship with God. But what if those memes go away? What if those quote of the day, verse of the day, those thought of the days, what if all that goes away? What's truly, truly on the inside of you? So when you as an influencer, as a creator, even as a just a regular person that enjoys social media, when you post, even as an encourager, your mind is focused on the consumer, on the reader. You're taking into consideration what the reader or the audience wants to hear or wants to speak about. Even me, when I post, when I make episodes, yes, they're about my life, but I also want to make sure that I'm talking about subjects and being relevant to things that you're experiencing. So even on just a regular day-to-day person social media, do you just go around posting pictures of a garbage can at your house? Or do you post pictures of your $100,000 car? Or your $50,000 diamond ring? Do you post pictures of when you got drunk last night and were throwing up in the bathroom? Or when you were trying to kill yourself in the shower? Have you posted a picture of that? Let's be honest, no. Anytime we post, you're taking into consideration what the consumer, what the reader, what the audience wants to see, what they're going to react to, what they're going to support you in. A lot of times we feel led to move into maybe not business ventures, but into passions, into hobbies. We have interest based on what everybody else likes or based on what everybody else wants for us. I'm not saying that you can't be truly inspired by someone's social media. Absolutely, you can. But you have to know in that moment when people, even you yourself, even me, when you're posting on social media, you're not really posting for yourself. Who goes back and just looks at their own social media? You're posting it for the world. You select the right phrases, the right questions to ask, the right emojis. You create all the hashtags to make sure that people can easily find your post. So yeah, your social media is not for you. It's for everybody else around you. But your diary, it's private, boo. It's private. No one cares about your diary. Have you ever read somebody's diary? I know I haven't. I know it's popular on the movies, well, back in the 80s and 90s, for parents to go digging through their children's diary. But other than that, in all honesty, have you ever read someone's diary? Or read someone's notes or prayers to themselves? Have you ever read that? No. It's private. And you know what? Nobody cares about it. I don't really care to read what's in your diary. If you're telling me how you feel and telling me what's going on with you, why do I need to go read your diary? It's just for you. But that's the beautiful thing about it. Knowing that the odds of someone ever even reading it are slim to none. So guess what happens when we write in our diary, in our notebook, in our journal? You're not compelled to lie about it. That's one. You never expect that anybody will ever read it. So you can be truthful. You can be honest with yourself. So I think that's why we have gotten away from it. And let me just be real. My journal, my diary, is what healed me from a lot of the things I was going through. I started writing, which I've always been a writer, so I can just write all the time because I love to do it. But I started writing in a diary or a journal before I even made that life change. Part of that is what inspired me, because not only was I able to put my thoughts, let them out, even though I wasn't able to voice them to the person or voice them to the people in my life, I was able to speak. No one can stop me. No one cares if you're sitting in a corner writing on a piece of paper. I've never been stopped from writing in my diary. Not only that, I was being true to myself. I was being honest with myself. A lot of our problems, y'all, are because we're not being honest. Even medical conditions, it's horrible. You go to the doctor, you tell them you have a headache, and they just give you headache medicine. They don't really care to find out the root of what's wrong. And that's why a lot of people are staying sick. But when you write in your diary, it's healing. It's releasing everything that is pent up inside of you, good or bad. You're letting it out. Another thing is it is a very, very intimate time. When you don't have to worry about looking over your shoulder, what the next person thinks. You don't have to worry about telling a story, putting on a front, entertaining somebody. It's just you and yourself. And we have gotten away from spending time with just ourselves. I'm not really just preaching to y'all about writing in a diary. I'm not trying to make you 13 again, but I'm trying to encourage you to spend time by yourself, even away from your spouse, even away from your pastor and from your mentor, your family. We all need that time to come to terms with who we are, who we desire to be, our goals. But most importantly, to be intimate with God. Let me just say, for a Christian or a believer, I can pretty much guarantee, or I'm just going to say this, a diary or a journal or a study book, any of that is all going to end up being devotion to God. As much as I write in my journal about what I'm going through, I also talk to God. It happens simultaneously because God is within me. And it's like he already knows what you're thinking. He already knows. But just to say it out loud, to be honest, even though it's on paper, to let it out, to be able to finally write and say, God, I feel inferior. I feel like I am not worthy. I feel like I'm not good enough. Like I didn't meet the mark. I feel like I'm not successful. I feel like I'm not beautiful. I feel like I'm not wanted. Whatever it is that you're experiencing, write it down. Let it come out. And the amazing thing about that intimacy with yourself and with God, not only is it necessary, but it is absolutely invigorating. It is healing. It is restoring. I cannot tell you how many times my faith has been lifted, my spirit has been encouraged, how many times I've received revelation and answers on problems that I've been seeking for months, for even years. When I finally took the time to put everything else aside, to quiet the world and quiet the noise around me, and focus on the voice of God by writing in my journal. Because see, for me, when God speaks to me, it's through visions. I see things. I've realized this. We're going to talk about that on another episode as well. But when I'm able to sit down alone and not worry about what mom or daddy or husband or wife needs, or even my babies, when I'm able to just really tune in and focus on me and on God, that is the most important relationship you will ever have in your life. But spending that alone time, worship is important, prayer is important. But I'm telling you, sitting by yourself, maybe you're not a writer, you don't have to be. I encourage it because for me, I love getting to go back. You know, I made a list, and I think I've told y'all this. I made a list last year of 7 of the most looming problems in my life. And they were some big ticket problems, y'all. Big ticket problems that my salary can't cover. And they were hindering my growth, hindering my life from moving forward. And I wrote a list of them all and I started to pray over them. When I looked at this list about a month ago, can I tell you every single one of those problems have been scratched off my list except for one. And one wasn't a problem, it was a goal. And actually that's in the middle of happening. It's in the middle of coming to to pass. It's happening. So everything that was on that list, God has provided for me. Now, when I was going through it, it sure didn't feel like it. It surely, all of last year, every problem, every hard time I experienced, I didn't realize the blessing behind it. It was so hard. Days where I had no money left. I couldn't pay certain bills. I couldn't go places I wanted to go, hindering my life, really sacrificing. But when I look back, the feeling that I got from looking at that list, knowing that not only was I able to write it down and be honest with myself about the problems, to write them down, to pray about them, and to know that they've been canceled, they are completely out of my life, out of my reach. I no longer have to worry about them. That's why I love to write. That's why I love to write in a journal. Because I love to go back and see what mindset was I in 3 months ago? You know, if 6 months ago I was feeling suicidal, but today I feel strong and wanted and loved, that is something worthy of praising God. You're able to intricately track your life. The things that you're going through, the people you meet, the places you go, the feelings, the emotions, it is a beautiful, beautiful thing. But even if you never, ever go back and read it, I encourage you to do it. I encourage you to do it. And even if, like I said, if you don't write physically, type it. You know, I have a notepad. Everybody has a notepad on their phone, but I have a specific note that I type in prayers. And I will go, I'm not going to lie, it's not every day. But when I think about it, when I have time, when I'm on my lunch break, before work, I'll go in there and I'll type down some of the real heavy prayers, things that have been heavy on my heart. And I love just going back and looking at where I came from. That's the beautiful thing. When you can celebrate your victories because you've documented them. And sometimes in life, it's so easy for us to forget where we came from. You're so busy moving forward and focusing on the roadblocks ahead. You forget to look back and look at the mountains that you've already overcame. That is so important. It is so important to be honest with yourself. Even if 23 hours of the day you live in a persona, you live within a realm of being who other people want you to be. If that's how you choose to live your life, I can't say anything. I can't stop you. It's your life. But please, for your sanity, take 30 minutes, 15 minutes. Break all of that down. You'd be surprised how much you can accomplish, how much you can conquer, and how much further you'll go, how much more victorious you'll be. If you can conquer your problems, if you can be honest with yourself, if you can be true to what is really going on in your life, not hiding it, not acting like the problem don't exist, face it, deal with it, and find a solution. Let God give you a solution. But that's all I have for y'all today. I appreciate you for tuning in. I would love for you to share this episode. Don't forget to tag Epiphany with Joanna Lynn on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Check me out on YouTube. The podcast is streaming on Apple Podcasts, Google, Podbean, iHeartRadio, now on Amazon, on so many platforms, anywhere you want to go. Also, we have a new account on Patreon. If you want to support the Epiphany podcast, not just by being a fan, but being a financial supporter, I would greatly appreciate that. There is so much in store for you in your life. I am so excited to share on this journey with you, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Mwah!